What's up, everybody? It's Sportskeeda Wrestling. Top story of the day, a lightning fast edition of it. Quick, fast, and edible, because we're always running over time for you all the time. A lot to get into. AEW Grand Slam ratings. We'll talk about Eric Bischoff, who one time was in a wrestling war, wasn't he, Jeremy? Yeah. He has something to say about this current wrestling war that WWE and AEW are in, and so much more. Share that link or you stink, especially if you love the people trash talking on the internet. This is your episode. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Watch out, watch out, watch out. Hey, everybody, how you doing? I'm Kellam. Top story of the day. We had a lot to cover, a lot of content coming at you this week from us with Extreme Rules this Sunday. Jeremy, you and I will be live after the pay-per-view.
Yes,
Rick
sir.
will be joining us live from the arena, Rick Uccino. We have a big trivia showdown Sunday as well, in which I intend to kick Sid's ass and get
number one contender match.
Yeah, number one contender, baby. Extreme Fools is what's going down, all right? I see what I did there. That's all going down Sunday. Plus, we have a preview of Extreme Rules with Kenny Bolin tomorrow. So all of that on the channel, and our podcast channels, and our YouTube, and so much more. Obviously, we always have Dutch Mantel covering SmackDown Rampage this week, a big one from them. How you doing? Share the link or you stink. You know the rules. Get right there in the conversation. Jeremy, it's a lightning fast edition here. We're cramped on time, but I want to know. Speed. What is the big ratings last night? Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, the Dream Match, CM Punk on TV, 20,000 large in New York City. What are the ratings for AEW's Grand Slam Dynamite?
Hell of a show last night, and the numbers kind of reflected it as they had a pretty decent increase from the week before, showing in at 1.273 million. That was up from 1.175. So basically, an increase of 100,000 viewers. Now they got a little more
significant.
It is
not a massive jump, but a solid one.
Yeah. Yep, and they're starting to get more stiff competition, as if you follow the numbers on Wednesday, you know that Wednesday night ratings start to dip for everybody once The Masked Singer starts, and The Masked Singer debuted on Fox, so that obviously is going to take a lot of viewership away from everybody.
How AEW now has to kind of correlate their programming, not just what WWE is doing, of what else is on television, what else people are wanting to tune into.
Yep, and the demo, a strong 0.48, didn't catch Raw, though. A lot of people thought maybe they would catch Raw, but the big dog, I guess you could give the big dog some credit. You could acknowledge him because he showed up on Monday Night Raw, and they barely beat AEW with a 0.49 to a 0.48, but still strong numbers from Raw and strong numbers from AEW coming off of Grand Slam. Let's see if he had any other. It was the third highest Dynamite ever in terms of total 18 to 49 viewership and total viewership. So the big demo and the overall third highest ranking. The post all out episode, and of course the debut episode, drew the big numbers. So AEW Dynamite number one among cable in 18 to 49. They beat the Real Housewives on Bravo. Apparently that must be a demo juggernaut, because that's who they beat at number two. And of course, as I just mentioned, The Masked Singer had a 1.11 demo. We've talked on my podcast a lot about it, how The Masked Singer affects the ratings. That's because they pull in a gigantic demo when they show up on Fox.
Yeah, a lot to get into. If you haven't done already, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot of exclusives there. We're dropping some big stuff. We have Kofi Kingston just did an interview with us on Monday ahead of that big match between the Bloodline and the Usos, along with Roman Reigns. We have exclusive dropping tonight, Inside Cradle. The WWE Champion's going to be on the show. Big E will be joining us. A little bit of a clip. We'll have the full interview sometime soon. A little bit of a Rick's hookup from Radioland in Ohio. WWE Champion promoting the shows coming this weekend to Ohio on ESPN 1530. And so we got some exclusive audio from that, and Liv Morgan. So Liv Morgan dropping on the channel as well, talking up Extreme Rules. A lot of stuff there to build to. Let's jump into more AEW news coming off of yesterday. They're introducing a new championship.
Yeah, the women, you guys, I think you guys had talked about it yesterday on the show. There is a secondary women's title and that is coming out. And Andrew Zarian, talking with Denise Salcedo on her Speak Now Pro Wrestling show, announced that they're going to be calling the secondary women's championship the TBS championship, which, you know, kind of coincides. Well, they don't really call it a secondary title, but, you know, the other title, you know, the non-world title. So what is Kevin doing?
Saying hi to people on the internet.
So in the same vein of it being a TNT championship for the men, the women is going to be called the TBS championship. And speaking of TBS, some big news came out today in regards to everything in regards to the television with AEW. Rampage is actually going to stay on TNT in 2022. It's not going to go to TBS like originally. The plan,
initially, they were going to go to
initially. Initially. But Dynamite will move to TBS, and it's going to be right at the very beginning of 2022, January 5th. So Dynamite will air still 8 o'clock. As if you looked at the hockey schedule for TNT, all but 2 of the hockey games are going to be airing at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. So
you got to honor that. You got to honor that deal here.
Yeah. So they're going to go late. Most of those hockey games are going to go late and not going to.
Sean Smith saying that AEW is going to be on ESPN 8, the Ocho.
Nah, I think that's reserved for lawnmower racing.
Yes, that's a dodgeball reference.
Well, I would say cornhole, but now cornhole's on basically all of ESPN's products. That used to be
Bago or something like that. Yeah, everyone has a different name for that.
That used to be the Ocho. Now that thing's graduated to the mainstream. Maybe
shout out Robert DeFelice, our friends over at Fightful in this the Zone.
Hey, what's up, Robert?
What's going on there over at the Zone? A lot to get into as well. Incredible night for AEW overall.
Oh my God!
Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, an absolute classic. A time limit draw usually leaves some people wanting more. I think that was kind of the idea.
Yeah, I asked for it on Twitter before the match started. I said, "Give me a Broadway in New York, baby. Give me a Broadway," and they gave it to me.
Yeah, absolutely,
and
they did.
Yeah.
A lot to look forward to here, and it's an interesting time in the wrestling business. I mean, AEW, if they haven't proven it already, they are getting on WWE's level with the wrestling fan, with the hardcore wrestling fan. That is absolutely fundamentally clear. 20,000 tickets sold in New York City. Okay, I've been to the shows. It's clear. But are they on the financial level of WWE? Not exactly. And Eric Bischoff has kind of clarified that in terms of market share, where WWE is just in such a stronger position. They just have so much more brand awareness. There's a head start, for lack of a better phrase. But he has some newer comments about how WWE responds to competition like this. Give me more.
Yeah, Eric Bischoff took to Twitter.
Who's been in a wrestling war, worked for WWE, worked for WCW,
worked with them,
talking about.
Worked with them and worked against them. So Eric Bischoff, who has, of course, appeared on AEW several times as well. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. He talked about how the chairman and CEO, Vince McMahon, is happiest and most effective when he's in a fight and when, shit gets real, basically, is a quote unquote how Bischoff put it. Talking about last night's Grand Slam edition of Dynamite, and Bischoff predicted, due to this, the grand nature of the show, the matchups, the talent that's now on AEW, and what we're getting in terms of a product. Bischoff is agreeing that they have got a product now that is competing with WWE, and predicts that fun times are going to be ahead for pro wrestling fans. He says, in his experience, getting a glimpse into Vince McMahon personally, it's going to be a fun ride. Strap in, because now Vince is going to be, in productive mode. Things are going to be more. He's going to pay attention to things more and be more effective. Throw out some good product for the WWE fans as well. One fan had asked him if anyone in Vince's inner circle believes they are in a fight, and if they have the balls to tell Vince that. And Bischoff said, after last night, they don't need to. Vince knows. Basically, nobody needs to tell Vince that he's in a fight. He knows now.
I think that's just more fishing for a comment out of him. That's more like, is Vince scared? Vince fears. Like, remember those signs from the 90s?
That was the Vince fears ratings.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
Yeah, it was Vince fears Bischoff. Bischoff fears Vince. And like, that was a big trolley thing. Before memes, the trolley thing was the sign at the wrestling show.
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't just You wouldn't just post a meme making fun of a wrestler or a big corporation or something like that on the internet and no one could see it. No, you had to physically write it and bring it and try and get it on television. So that was the original wrestling meme. AEW dominating the news obviously today because they ran New York City. They ran the largest media market in the country, and they definitely wanted to pivot to this announcement as more of an international announcement from being in the largest international media market in New York City. And they have signed a massive star, a very, very tall gentleman. The first ever NBA player drafted from India, Satman Singh, has signed with the company. This kind of correlates with a move they made a few months ago to launch into the India television market, now on Eurosport. This is one of their first really, really big, significant international television deals. And I think having a talent that represents that massive wrestling audience is key to their growth. And this is a smart move in the long run.
Yeah, and WWE's made the same type of moves as well, especially going into China, and signing the first Chinese-born superstar to a contract. Same goes with India as well. They got a big presence in India and had tryouts and signed a lot of those people to deals. And it's global expansion has always got to be on the forefront for big companies like WWE and AEW. So it makes complete sense to do something like that. And it sounds like he's going to report over to the Nightmare Factory, Cody's training facility there, and learn the ropes, so to speak.
A lot coming up tonight on the Inside Cradle. As I mentioned, we will have exclusive comments from the WWE Champion Big E and SmackDown superstar Liv Morgan. Full interview with Liv Morgan coming sometime soon to the channel as well within the next 24 hours. Talking everything Peacock, talking everything AEW, all super in-depth, over an hour plus of video and audio. The audio is out now. If you just can't wait, it's all out there. Go check it out. If you haven't done it, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast channel. Thank you guys so much for getting us on the charts, the top 100 wrestling podcasts on Apple in the United States. Thank you so much. We're very, very appreciative. We cracked that chart this week. So very, very thankful of that. If you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give it a like. Share the link. Don't share the link. You stink. Jeremy, you've been busy with your show.
Yeah. Lost in the Midcard is my podcast. We went live for the first time last night. Had a lot of fun. A lot of people in the chat. We had a great time talking just all of television and of course Grand Slam. All of television made we also made our Extreme Rules predictions on the show too. If you go to YouTube, search for Lost in the Midcard. We had so much fun. We're gonna go live again next week. We're gonna go live the next few times, kind of keep it going. So Wednesdays after Dynamite, subscribe to our YouTube channel there. Also, our podcast version of that will be up on Thursdays. I'm gonna actually work on that right now after we get off the air, and so the new last night's big episode 300 will be up for podcast here later tonight.
Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Love the diehards who are with us. If you're with us for the first time, go ahead and sound off. Tell us what you think. All right, go ahead and support the channel, support the efforts. I know a lot of people see us first on Facebook and then catch the shows on YouTube or podcast form, but try the other ones. See which ones work for you. If you want to watch us on your TV, you can do that really easily on YouTube. All right, so I know some people have told me they've converted from Facebook over to YouTube. So let us know what you think. Give us a follow on all the different socials. And, there's this other important thing you got to do, though. I mean, I know people forget about it following all the news. When watching wrestling, you got to do this important thing. What's that, Jeremy?
That means you got to enjoy the wrestling.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you.
Talk to them.
Yeah.